hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu. That hadith is a very popular hadith that we hear, and then it has some basic and general knowledge about our religion, and then not only about our religion, about our well-being. That hadith, it is a complete guidance from Allah through Rasulullah sallallahu, so as for us to be protected from unnecessary distractions in our life, so as for us to be safeguarded from unnecessary distraction in our religion. Rasulullah sallallahu min husni islamil mar'i tarku ma la ya'nihi. Min husni islamil mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'nihi. A complete Muslim, a devoted Muslim. One of those signs that you will see in anyone that is a complete and a very devoted Muslim and committed Muslim is to do this. What is that? Rasulullah says, Tarkuhu mala, for him to abandon, for him to shun, for him to distance himself from what? Ma la ya'nihi, what does not concern him. Let me repeat the hadith. Rasulullah says, one of the completeness or sign of completeness, sign of commitment of someone in religion of Allah is for him to distance himself from what does not concern him. Anything that has no any relevance to your life, anything that has no importance to your being, you should stay away from it. In fact, this hadith, as we said, this statement of Rasulullah, it signifies someone, the strength of someone's iman. For you to know that this person, mashallah, is iman, you always see him minding his own what? His own business. That is to say, to mind your business is not only on moral ground, it is even on religious what? On religious grounds. Rasulullah say, for you to see someone has a complete iman, you see him minding his business. Something that does not concern him, he will not, indulge himself in such. Now, before we move further, let's now say, there are a lot of things that concerns us. There are a lot of things. How do we know this one concerns me, this one don't concern me? Some of us, sometimes we try to listen to some information. We try to get ourselves involved in some things with hope that this thing, let me know it before it comes to my own something. Some of us. Now, let's now see, how do we know? What are the standards? What are the criteria for us to be able to identify issues that are pertaining to us, that are concerning us? We Muslims, we have two goals. Let me put it this way. We have a goal, and then along this line, we have numbers of objectives. When you do research work, they will ask you, they always combine the two together in some instances. They will say goals and objectives. Goal, it should be a broad something that you are trying to achieve at the end of the what? At the end of the day. So an objective should be, what are the things that you're going to do to achieve that what? To achieve that aim. For example, in this ground, the goal of a Muslim should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to end the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to end up in Al-Jannah. That should be our ultimate goal. It should be our target, that this is where we are going. But in getting that, there are a lot of things that we do to achieve that. These are our objectives. You as a Muslim, you have to be committed in life. You have to be devoted. You have to be sincere. You have to, to be upright in terms of character. You have to be abidun, worship Allah, fasting, all those things. So now, our goal, as I said, is for us to end the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's our goal. That's number one. Should be the number one standard for everything. Anything that is of no benefit for you in terms of your religion, in terms of your relationship with your Lord, that thing does not concern you. That's number one thing. Anything that does not benefit you, does not draw you closer to Allah, does not increase your iman, does not open your way in terms of character, it has no any relevance to you. That's number one. And number two, any other thing that has no worldly benefit for you. There is no worldly benefits. Maybe it does not improve your skill, not improve your provisions, not expand your wealth, not in any way be advantageous to you. in terms of your intellect, your health, anything has to do with your worldly affairs. And then when you look at it, that thing does not concern you, does not even add anything to you. You stay away from it. A good example. Majority of us, we indulge ourselves in asking too much about other people's affairs. My neighbor, in Yoruba, if they really want to do gossip, they will say, Aralere means your neighbor, even though he's not his neighbor, but he will not mention his name. The moment you say Aralere means your neighbor or the person that Aralere means the one that his house is a little bit far from us. They know, and then they will start talking about it. You not marry second wife. Oh. Hey, in this economy, what thing concern you now? What is your own benefits? How does this has any relationship with you in your worldly affair? Luqman al-Hakim was asked. Luqman Hakim is one of those important personality that even some say is a prophet, but to the most standard one or the general saying about him that is not a prophet, but it's Hakim. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated him in Quran. Even there is a whole surah called Surah to what? Surah to Luqman. So he's known to be Al-Hakim, it means a wise. Luqman, the wise. Was asked that how did you attain this level of wisdom? He said two things. One of them is that يعني لا أسأل أما قفيت به لا أسأل أما قفيت به ولا أتكلف بما. That's what he said. Anything that I'm spared of, yani I'm already spared out. That is, I'm not invited. I'm not involved. They spare me of this. They didn't tell me. I do not ask. I do not investigate. I do not make. How come they do? Since they did not, they have already spared me out of it. They did not tell me that this is how we do it. This is how. Me too. I maintain my lane. I don't poke nose in those things. That's number one. And number two, I'm always less concerned with what does not concern me. I'm always less concerned. I don't go into what does not concern me. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't improve my life. It doesn't do something. I stay myself away from it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, and okay, there was a day one of the Sahaba died. As this man died, of course, Sahaba, they are the highest, apart from the Prophet, they are the highest set of people that attain the highest level in terms of Iman and then in terms of greatness. So when this man died, they were carrying him, and then they passed under some Sahaba. They were saying some congratulatory words, something like that. Congratulations for him, and he had level Al Jannah. And congratulations for him. He's going to end up in Al Jannah. He's going to end up in Al Jannah. That is, he has ended his life, mashallah, on good note, and so on and so forth. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked them these questions, and then he said this. He said, وَمَا عِلْمُكُمْ مَا عَلَّمَكُمْ. How do you know? What gives you that assurance? Probably, maybe in one way or the other, he has spoken, he has said something what does not concern him. For you to see that if someone saying you talk too much about what does not concern you, about people's affairs, it can be so detrimental that we reduce the good work of someone. We all remember the hadith of the bankruptcy. Remember it, we said it several times. Bankruptcy, that is, there's someone that has an enormous of ibadah, big of service, and many other things. But we end up in hellfire. How? Because of small things that are avoidable. Because of what? Because of gossip up and down. Because of, backbiting and some other things. Qila wa qala. That's why Rasulullah sallam says that you should stay away from three things. Out of those three things that Rasulullah said, we stay away from it completely. He mentioned qila wa qala. What is qila wa qala? Even if you look at that Arabic word, is qila qala. They sound the same thing because they are from the same origin. It's all about some other derivative of the word qawl. Qila wa qala, it means, in fact, the best translation for it is what we say in preaching. You say, is then say, that's what qila or qala. Any word that starts, any gossip that starts with then say any qila or qala that you do not know. That's why when we talk about tongue the other day, we quoted this ayah in Quran, Surah Al-Isra, that Allah says, don't pursue what you do not have some substantiative knowledge. Yani, you do not have a knowledge, genuine knowledge about. Don't be the one to be spreading it out around. Because Rasulullah say, Ijtanibu thalatha. You should stay away from three. One of them, qila wa qala. Then say, talk. You stay away from it. Then another one, kasratu su'al. Kathratu as-su'al. Asking too much question, especially about people. Someone don't get job. He has gotten job. Then you say, nah, the social place they work now. How much are they paying him now? What concerns you? If they are paying him less, are you going to augment it for him? Just, some people, they like, one of the major problem about how people ask too much question about people is that they always want to find a way to get themselves some self-satisfaction. I am working as a teacher, for example, and then you are working as a civil servant who works in the ministry. They want to know how much is your salary, how much is my salary, so that I will say, talk, if my own done better. The moment you see that his own is better than this one, even though there is no any benefit coming to him, he becomes satisfied. I say, after all, not be only my own get worse, at least I get some people that you don't need to ask much about people's affairs. We don't, because there is this standard. Whoever occupies himself with what does not concern him, surely the person will get short of what concerns him. If you talk too much about what does not concern you, what really concerns your life, you get short of it. And you will not do well in that area. Recently, 2 days ago, I was watching news. They now did, what is it called? This paper review. One newspaper, one of those Nigerian dailies, he puts one headlines. He talks about high spike in early pregnancy. How young girls, yani underage, according to them, teenager, how they are getting what? Pregnant. How they are getting, it's so rampant these days. In fact, according to that statistics, they said out of 10 girls of less than 18 or thereabout, out of 10, one out of each 10, there is one that has gotten unwanted pregnancy. Out of them. They were talking about how that thing is getting high, this thing. When I saw that thing, I just laughed inside me. You know why I laughed inside me? I said, is this set of people that they are saying, hey, this unwanted pregnancy, this thing, they are the one, if they hear someone married at early age, you will see them as if the heaven has fallen. You will see them castigating. He has married legally, that everything was done legally and so on, mashallah. But they can never, because they like that. Someone was telling me that even some places in Nigeria here, they like it that their children of 15, 16, 17, probably 18, even before 20, they will say they have this boyfriend, girlfriend. They will move down to their houses. They will be living together as husband and what. But if let that girl cause wahala, say, no, I want to do marriage. They will say, you are too early for marriage. What are they doing in marriage that is not doing, for God's sake, the Allah? What are they doing in marriage that is not doing? But they don't just want that legality, but they want illegality to persist. And then they are the ones that, that is it. That is this. If someone consigns himself with what does not consign him, he will be short. He will be, short of what concerns him. If they see someone now, say, yeah, this one, he finished secondary school, he sees a good suitor and the family, they say, okay, you go and be doing yours. Look at that. They are giving themselves early marriage. They are even using it to insult people. I don't even know how that one will be an insult. Which one is insult? The one that is getting impregnated unlawfully, and then that has brought the pride of the family, if there is any pride in the first place, that has brought it into the mud, or the one that legally, mashallah, say, we want to marry your daughter, then these are the sadaqi, these are the gift, these are the something, these are. And then do you know how these people can be so hypocritic? They can be so munafiq, hypocrites, can be so hypocrites in their dealings. If they eventually see someone that marry at early age, maybe 18 or thereabout, that is doing well in our field, you will see them, they will praise him. They'll praise her. Because I know there was a day we listened to one of those actress or actor that get married early. He's doing well. One of those big shots in this they are Nollywood or what they call it. I think the lady is from Edo State, if I remember her name. Something Allah or something. There was a day he said they got married. She got married at, is it 18 or thereabout? And then she was even saying that, Masha, even if my children, my daughters, if they see someone that will marry them at that early age, they will like it. And then many of them, they admire that. They are doing, but if someone is doing it, you see them. Then I ask them, what is the standard age for someone to marry? You know, if someone is married at age, he's not ready for the marriage. He's not being. You will see them on TV talking as if they know anything called psychology. They'll be saying rubbish from their mouth. He said that he's not matured mentally, physically. Who has ever let someone wait for marriage till age of 40 and let him start, whether he's ready? You see them, nobody can be ready. You cannot be ready. That's just the truth. Because this is a practical life. You are seeing something, you are hearing something. Now you want to practicalize it. You are dealing with someone who you are not involved in his or her life right from the inception. Now you want to come together and solidify and make one big family. Do you think it will be easy at the beginning? You will fight. You have this what? Disagreements. But everybody, you will learn on job. That's where you will learn it. That's where you will learn it. So that deceptions and some other things, and enough of it. If any one of us, we have our daughters that have been trained, it's good to train our children. It's good. We train them. We teach them some skills. We let them have basic knowledge of life. If we see good people that propose to them and seek their hands in marriage, even if they are 18 or even at any age, or even let's do it. Some of them say we are not ready. In Yoruba, they will say you are not ready, but you are ready. It means you are cutting that thing, and then you say you are not ready. You say he's not ready, but he's ready already. So and then he says he's not ready. I'm not ready. When are you going to be ready? You will see some youth. Wallahi, some of them they have experience in that area than even an adult that's been married for 20 years because they've done a lot of things with many different people. And then they are asked that I'm not ready for marriage. What are they doing in marriage that you are not doing, for God's sake? Tell us. The only things that you don't want to do is that you don't want to be responsible. Because marriage means what? Commitments. It means responsibility. But in one those areas, and those some other girls too, they don't want to be responsible. And some of them do, they are. And then you know what pisses me most is that these people that they are doing immorality and they see themselves as standard for people, for God's sake. That that's how it should be now. How can marriage for now? What is this for God's sake? That is who preoccupy himself with what does not, and some parents too. If someone else has early marriage, is the one they will be talking. Their own children that doing zina around. Is not that. You know, I heard from one sheikh. He said these days, if some parents they are carrying their children, daughters, they are taking them to the hospital to do what? To do family planning. The one that's not married is going to maybe a higher institution. They are taking her to do family planning. When I heard that it's family planning, which family are they planning? They are not planning family. Now, zina, they are planning kawai. Zina planning. Wallahi, we have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Especially we parents. We have to look inward. We don't, many of us, what we just think that when it's their time. What is their time, for God's sake? We have to be conscious about our own children, not other people's what. We have to be conscious about them. There is a father or a family I know very well. In fact, the father and the mother. I know the father to be one of those irresponsible father, anyway, because he always drinking alcohol around and so on. In fact, even it got to the point that some people when you like things too much, right? And then you have money because I think he was working somewhere and they had money. So when you will have flair. There are some people if they want they go to buy Igbo these India M's every time. It's part of them. Sir. Instead of me buying this Igbo, let me invest my money in Igbo now. Let me be the one to be supplying Igbo to people. Just like this, you become the dealer. Just like this man, he was into always alcohol. Then instead of me to be, let me also have the beer parlor. And then he opened the beer parlor. And his wife is a teacher. Teachers' children, they are known to be what? Disciplined, right? Usually, Allah compensates them. But Allah knows how this one happened because of the influence of the father. I don't know. They were growing up gradually. I remember 2 children. And the father, because he occupies himself with what does not what? Concern him. This is a true life something. This is a true life that happened in my nose here. In fact, if I go for that, those children they used to be small something in our area because their mother is not even a Yoruba man, it's a Yoruba woman. It's an Igbo woman, but she's a Muslim. Then they grow up. And then the father is the Muslim, too Muslim anyway, but still indulging in all those things. It's a Muslim that is a fasiq anyway. So the children, they grew up, the father occupied himself with what does not concern him. I don't know what happened along the line with the mother. Those two children, they grew up beautiful, handsome children. Then they sent them to school. Almost within, later on, the boy joined courtesan in Kwara State then, even though he's still there now, but it's a little bit, not as used to be before. May Allah touch their mind and rectify the affair of the youth. That's what we are saying. If the parents do not take care of their own at home, doing something that does not concern around, wallahi, he will see bad things in his eyes. And this boy, the first thing that happened is that the girl, very beautiful. You see them, in fact, the complexion is complete, pure, like Oyibo people. That's how they look like. Not even only that, everything about them was very good. The girl started doing runs. No runs back. Started doing hookup. That beauty is there. Yes, she was small children. And then one night she went and did the runs, and then she was used for ritual. She just came back home and died at home. In fact, started vomiting, and died. She died. Boy. The week that followed, two children that they had, the week that followed, the boy was in courtesy. He was in Kwara Polytechnic then. And then those, this court group, they used to count scores. Now the boy was sitting down among his colleagues pair. It's around early morning or thereabout, and those court people from other group, they came. When they came, he has to identify them. Other people did not identify them. Like even some of our brothers, they were sitting together in front of the main road in our area. He has identified them. When he saw them, he stood up, started running. They chased him. We are not talking about night, day night, around that day, like the bright day, around that 11, that 11:10 thereabout. Broad daylight, bright daylight. They came and they chased him. They shot him. After they shot him, they put him down. The father in their house, this is the road. Their house is there. It's on some story building. The father was watching like this. They were chasing his son. They shot they shot him, and then what they mean? Not only they shot him, they removed his face. People, they were talking about this. It's not that they caught him only. They make sure that they remove the what? They remove it. Why the father was watching from far like this? He was watching. What do we learn from this? The father was busy around doing what does not concern him. That's why I say anything that does not add value to your religion, does not add value to your well-being as human, stay away from it. Because if you do not stay away from it, what concerns you, what matters in your life, you will be short of it. You will not do it well. And what happened? The father, in his eyes like this, they kill his son. In his eyes like this, they kill his daughter. So do you think such people, they will end well? So that is life. Please, every one of us, we should, try to prioritize. That's why we have to sit down. What is my own priority? Every one of us. These are the things that will help us. What are my priorities? Is it just to be talking about people? Is my priority? Or to mind my own business? Is it for me to grow? That's why you have to set goals in life. We set our own goals. This is what I want to achieve. We may not achieve them overnight, if it is not even possible. But everything with time, gradually. And most importantly, Allah rewards efforts. Allah what? Allah rewards efforts. And then who tried and strive to do something good, and then he was not able to accomplish it. Out of the fact that Allah will reward that effort. We have seen some people that they try to make their own life better, but they could not do it. But Allah will make it from their own children. From their own what? Their own children will be so successful that Allah will let them taste that effort that they are putting, the results, the fruit of those efforts that they are putting. Please, Rasulullah says, one of the signs of the greatness of Islam. In fact, some scholars, they even say, for someone to mind his business is 1/4 of Islam. 1/4 is gone. So 3/4 now, what is the guarantee that you're going to secure it? Because this thing is achievable. Those, backbiting, gossiping, and dodge what does not concern you, they are avoidable. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rectify our affairs. May Allah increase us in Iman. May Allah uplift us in good character and behavior, and count us among those who make use of their time, who make use of their lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the sincere followers of Rasulullah sallallahu, among the sincere followers of the Sunnah of Rasulullah. من اليقين